What was Rav Soloveitchik's position, therefore, his stance on Aliyah, and did he encourage his students to make Aliyah? I've heard stories where some students got permission or went to get the bracha, but it wasn't something that they received perhaps enthusiastically at the beginning, at least.
Okay.
How do you understand that, Rabbi Adler?
Right. So you're going to talk to different people. You're going to get different takes on this, and each one is going to say, "I heard from the Rav," and they're all telling you the truth because the Rav said different things sometimes to different people based on what they wanted to hear. The fact is, the Rav spoke enthusiastically, very enthusiastically, in 1956, 8 years after the state was established, on the Yom Ha'atzmaut get together at YU. Today it's a manifesto on religious Zionism, Kol Dodi Dofek. It was a speech in Yiddish, been translated to English and to Hebrew many times over. And there he talks very, very favorably about Aliyah. And he speaks about it too in these Mizrahi talks. With regard to going on Aliyah, in theory, the Rav felt, yes, that's what we should be doing. When it came to his own students, who are specifically going into chinuch and rabbanut, education and rabbinate, there the Rav felt that there was still a need to be responsible to the diaspora community. He felt this. And I just used the word diaspora almost inappropriately because the Rav didn't like the word diaspora. He said it legitimizes being in Chutz La'aretz, abroad. He said he liked the word galut, exile, so you feel detached. But nevertheless, the Rav felt that, especially if you started out, as was the case in my case, I was already a rabbi in Long Island City, Astoria, Queens for 2 years, and I was teaching in the Yeshiva High School in Paramus, New Jersey, the Frisch School. The Rav had high hopes for me in America. He actually told me in 20 years he'll be president of the RCA, the Rabbinical Council of America. And I said, Rabbi, I actually said, do you have any other klalot up your sleeve? But my editor didn't let me write that. And he said, do you have any blessings with quotes up your sleeve? And the Rav laughed, and he said that he really felt he was nervous. He was nervous that I might get lost in Israel. Thank God I didn't get lost in Israel. I'm in Israel 44 years, and we've done some things here in this country. But he was worried about myself. He was worried about his own son-in-law, Rav Aaron Lichtenstein Zatzal, who made tremendous contribution in the Yeshivat HaRav. It's true, had Rav Lichtenstein stayed at Yeshiva University, he was already the Rosh Kollel. He would have been the #1 person after the Rav passed on. All this is true. But Rav Lichtenstein, for me, was a role model. And he was the Talmud Muvak of the Rav, and he was the son-in-law of the Rav. And if he left for 2 shacks in Alon Shvut in 1971, I could also do it. And here I told the Rav, I said, thank God I'm a Talmid of the Rav, a student, and not a Chassid. Because if you're a Chassid, the Rebbe tells you something, you don't even think that you should be doing it otherwise. But a Misnagid works differently. And the Rav gave what he thought to be good advice, but he always said, it's your life, and you do what you think is correct. So it is true. I know not only myself, Rabbi Riskin also had the same story that I had, and other great people who I felt made ultimately great contributions to religious life here in Israel. They received half-baked greetings, but I try to work it out with him. I write in the book several of my discussions with the Rav on this that were pure drashot, and he liked them as drashot, but he was still hopeful that maybe I would stick around a few more years. But I was grateful that the day that we left on the 8th of Tammuz in 1979, in a phone call conversation with Rav, and he was then in Boston, we received a very nice warm bracha. Anyway, so at least we closed the parsha properly.